While my workers are continuing the work on the roof, I'm gonna sit down with the guy who helped me navigate through all of this. His name is Krister Salas. Have you tried this?
No, not mucho más.
Not mucho más, no. I actually buy it in BIP down here.
Oh yeah?
And I think they have it in Eroski too, but it's cheaper in BIP. It's like €5. And I had some friends who saying like, oh, we tried that wine, it's great. So I bought it, I tried it, I really like it.
You know one that has the best wines?
Yeah.
In Cocodrilo, in front of Cinco Oceanos. There's a supermarket there.
Oh, that little one in the basement, kind of.
Yeah, in the basement.
Do they have good wines?
It has excellent wine.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Agromart.
No. This has excellent wine. This has like the top wines that you can't even find.
Okay, it looks like a really shitty, supermarket with inflatable mattresses and stuff like that.
Exactly, but that's the weird thing.
Yeah.
Right. There's some wines you can't even find that you're all of a sudden you're finding there, and people are going, oh my god, what is this? I just bought some. Thank you. Some rosé. That was from it's a special edition for restaurants only.
No, I thought you were going to say Agromart. Agromart.
No, Agromart.
But they are, if you want to get a really nice fancy bottle, that's where I think you would go. If you want to have, they have French rosé as well. Not just
of course,
normal
fancy bottle with great markups.
All right, so today we're going to talk about, because you helped me to buy this house.
Yeah. That was an adventure.
Yeah, that was an adventure. Yeah. So, it's like, what was the thing? So, I found it, and I contacted the owner, and I gave him a lowball offer.
Right.
And then he just disappeared. He didn't want to reply to my text anymore, and I was like, shit, I fucked up. Then that's when I contacted you.
Yeah.
And I said, like, you need to help me to figure this out.
Yeah.
And then I think, was it you who figured it out, or was it me? There was like 3 owners. Like, what's your story on that?
If I remember, I remember the phone call. I called him in, obviously speaking in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I told him, what was going on with the deal, etc. And he said, well, he wasn't alone, and then some didn't want to sell. And then I said, but you have to. I pushed him to convince his. I don't know if it was his sister or his brother, or it was a family thing.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
And I pushed him to convince them, because I said, in the state it's in. It's a really good offer.
They're flying.
Yeah, they love me. They think I'm fly.
Yeah. All right.
So then I pushed him, and then we met, organized the meeting as well.
But I think you went like to have a coffee with one of the brothers that lived in Campanet. So you were like basically working all 3 of them at the same time and trying to get them together.
Trying to get them together to find a common ground, which is like selling the place and getting some money.
Yeah.
And because it was a hard place to sell, and making them realize how hard it was, because it was literally a ruin.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you spotted it out. It was a great location. Being in the corner of Alcudia.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then we met together on the main square. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Coffee with all of them.
Yeah.
And then
that was a sit down with all the old. There was 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and their kids basically also involved, because they weren't taking care of their parents and
exactly.
Jesus.
And so
that's when we agreed, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Sitting down, having coffees, and
then you had Tirso on the
the lawyer.
Because that's also make or break here. You got to find a good lawyer that knows how to be business-wise, diplomats, not scaring people, etc. Understanding, a real good lawyer. This is key. many sales can break just because of the incompetency of some lawyers. So that's why it's very important to get like really the lawyers that are specific. For example, I know some lawyers that do really all those out of building regulation.
Okay.
/ illegal, they say, but it's not, you know, but
Specialized
specialize and that will explain to the buyer in a way to not scare the shit out of them, right?
No, because there is a lot of. Okay, so let's take it because we're gonna try to answer a lot of questions here today.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But
So when we're talking about this, and here in Spain and Mallorca, we're talking about all these properties that are illegal.
out of building regulation.
Well, that's your word for it, like out of building regulations. And I remember we have a common friend in. We have many common friends in real estate, but there's one. She works for Kensington, it's a company here, and she also talks about this. It's just like to bring it down a little bit because there is a lot of buildings that are out of regulation, as you would say, and then we have some people, like for me, I'm Swedish, coming in, and I know a lot of German clients. They go like, "Oh, wow, is it legal? Is it illegal?" But a lot of things are.
Well, the thing is, anything built before 1956 is legal.
Okay.
Right? Because the laws came into action in the end of 56, right?
Yeah.
So anything before then, that's why all the satellite pictures you have that has been bought by the Americans, and when you go on the site, you can see they're all black and white.
Yeah,
They're bought by the American military.
Was it the American military that took it?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. But back then, the Spanish didn't have that fancy tech, so you know the Americans did that.
Yeah. No, it's so fun because when I was then later applying for the license, they were talking about because part of my building was too high because I was not allowed to have 2 floors here on the corner. They said, but if it's built before 1956. It can stay and you can use it.
Yeah, because it was legal.
So
because there was no law.
Yeah, so that's when we found this old picture. So I'm going to put it up here so you can see it. But and then you can see that this place was here in 1956. So
exactly.
They said, yeah, so you're fine. Yeah.
So then anything after, you see, for example, take the very basic case of Pollença. Okay, Pollença is the only municipality where you always needed, after 1956, 14,206 square meters, okay, to build.
14,000?
Yeah, for a country house.
Oh, for a finca. Yeah, country house. Yeah.
I'm just saying, you needed 14,206 square meters. All right, that's 2 cuarteradas, which 1 cuarterada is 7,103. Okay, so you needed 2 always. So imagine, back in the day, after 56, no one really paid attention to those laws. I mean, it's back in the day, right? So they had a little house, and they built, and they continued, and they made another wing, and didn't have any architect. So that's why most country houses, little country houses, don't make any sense the way they're built, right? So, okay, so they build. And then no one said anything, no one says anything. And obviously, they didn't imagine if all the country houses in Pollença had, 14,000 square meters. Well, then you would have just very little houses. But here, now, you have tons of houses everywhere because they were built back in the day without licenses. They didn't go to town hall. It was all like, cousins and this and that. They didn't like... they would say the mayor would be Pep, and say, "Hey, Pep, I'm building." Yeah, go ahead. They got other things to do, So these houses are there for so long, and then there was a law that says, okay, guess what? It's prescribed if the town hall, right, never
puts a claim,
on the house or anything like that for so many years. You could prove the house was there, right, at that point. And then for so many years.
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Right. But this law of prescription, I don't quote me on that, but let's say in 2020 or 2019, they said no more prescription,
Oh,
right?
so today is like you don't,
So
you can't do that.
No, so let's say the last house that can be prescribed would be one from 2012.
Okay, so it
Right?
doesn't.
Because 8 years, and then the law says, hey, that's it, no more 8 years, because all of a sudden you're gonna build something, and then you're gonna wait 8 years, and let's stop all this.
Yeah, okay.
All right, it's like doom. So then now, so you have these small houses that have 3,000 square meter plots, 7,000 square meter plots, 6,000, 4,000, but for Spain, you're paying a property tax, aren't you? It's called IBI, right?
Yeah.
And you're paying your garbage tax, correct? Yeah. So how, and then you can sell the house as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can it be legal? I know cocaine is illegal. It's not taxed, right?
Yeah.
And people do but this, it's legal, 100%. If you can sell it, you pay taxes on it. You pay your property tax. It has to be legal, correct? Well, the only ick of not, and people just say illegal, and that scares people because that's not the real word. The real word is out of building regulations because they never asked for a license, right?
Yeah.
So now the problem is with town hall, not Spain, not selling, not anything, not tax. No, town hall says I didn't deliver you. So, yeah, if it's prescribed and it's out of building regulations, you are absolutely not allowed to renovate one stone.
Yeah, that's your that will be the problem. Is that you cannot apply to build something
I
extra.
know, but you can't because you never applied.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right? And if you applied, well, they say, well, your house isn't never was. So this is why also now, since December, people thought it was a bit before, they've made an amnesty. So now you can legalize anything that's out of building regulations for the next 3 years.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're trying to get everything.
Yeah, they got to get it. They
Like
get the shit in order.
Like with this, they like no one knew what this was. I mean, do you remember when we were like, I think was it Tirso that found it, or was it you? I don't remember. But I was trying to buy a property, a thing here in the old town, and then what we came to realize was that it was not one; it was actually two properties. You don't remember that, no? No, because the main big garage that I'm reforming right now, that was one property because that had the address of Cami de Ronda. But then the small house that had another address and a completely different, what do you call it? The paper, what is it called?
The cédula de habitabilidad?
No, not the cédula, the other thing.
The paper of...
If you want to find out, it's like a property. Okay, here is the...
the expediente. When you ask for the town hall for the history of the house.
Cédula. But you can't have a cédula in the garage, for example. So it's another paper. Like it's the deeds or something like that. Is it that?
Well, no.
Anyway, we figured out that it was two different properties.
Two different properties. Yeah.
So the small one actually was on a street called 29th or 23rd of December or something like that.
Okay.
It had a really strange name. A street that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Okay. It was the old street.
Yeah, it was some old street.
And that would be that one.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually found out that there was two, and then and we had also all these things where it was like this usufructo that the neighbors could use this property for blah 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 blah. Because I think this place used to be a garage for like the other two houses next to it. So this was like the garage part, and they had usufructo. They could use this place as they saw fit. But when we dived into it and looked into it, we saw that all the people that had this usufructo, the right to use it, they were all dead. now. So it was like, okay, we can just cancel
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
So there's so many things. I mean, imagine buying it and then all of a sudden the neighbor comes
No,
in
no,
and
no,
says,
but
no,
that-
I can use it.
And
it's like,
and that is
what the-
that is why you should have a good lawyer.
yeah.
That he does the whole due diligence.
Yeah.
And it's super important.
Yeah, no, Tiris was great, but he was also very hard on me when, but good when I bought it, because I remember he went like, you know that you're gonna have to do this and this and this, and this is like what you're buying is basically a piece of land, or it's just like it's just shit. Jens, this is just shit. But but okay, it's a good location. Yeah, you can do so. Yeah. But you need to do a full project and la 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 la. He was really. But he was honest, so that's good.
Yeah.
And that's what you need with a lawyer. You need them to be honest, but not to scare you, but say, yeah, of course you can get the license.
Yeah, you'll get
Blah,
it,
blah, blah,
etc.,
blah,
etc., etc. Yeah. But also, I mean, you're in urban, so you're in town, which is much less complicated than being in the country.
Yeah. I
Much
mean,
less.
a finca is
Yeah.
But still, here in the old town, it feels like there's a lot of regulations and stuff. We'll get
because
into that later, but
you're also in the fortress
yeah,
town,
inside.
so
Yeah.
it's like a historical neighborhood.
I'm gonna leave my case for a bit, but I want, because you've been working in real estate for how many? Quite many years now.
11?
11 years, yeah. And you are, I mean, your name is Krister Salas. We haven't even got to that yet. We just started talking. Krister Salas, that's your name.
Yeah.
You spell Krister with a K.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, it's an old Swedish name.
So it's an old Swedish name.
Very old Swedish name. But now they actually make it with CH.
Yeah.
To make it more modern.
Yeah, but no, I had people in school with Krister with a K.
Yeah, Krister with a K.
Yeah. But
and then my last name is Salas.
Yeah.
Which is Mallorquin.
Which is a Mallorquin name.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. You are French.
Yes, born in France, Swedish mother.
Oh, Swedish mother, yeah.
And my father was half Mallorquin, half French. So my grandfather is from Poyensa.
Okay, that's just crazy. But you didn't grow up here.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, I used to come on vacation since the age of, let's say, 9.
Yeah.
To forever, really. I always came 1 month in the year.
Yeah.
We always rented. We either had a boat here, and we had a boat, and we rented out villas. And then my uncle in 1992 moved from Paris to here with all the family. And my uncle was in business with my father, but then when the business kind of like went south, my father stayed in France to face the drama and told his little brother to come here.
All right.
And and then my uncle was doing real estate here and opened up 2 restaurants on the main square of Poyensa.
Which ones?
Canolesa and Il Giardino, Italian.
Okay.
Next to the club Poyensa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Main square.
But you also spent some time in America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I grew up there from the age of 9 to 17.
Oh wow.
In Florida.
So you're youth in Florida.
Yeah, in Boca Raton. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
That's cool.
And then I wanted to be closer to my dad, so then I moved back to France. Went to American schools in Paris, and then I moved back to Florida for university 1 year, and then did Montreal at McGill University for the remainder, where I graduated in entrepreneurship and marketing. And that's it. And then I started my business in Paris after, which was absorbent powder.
Yeah, but
Industrial.
that's the one you actually even work with here. You kept that business for quite some time.
Yeah. And then I sold it.
Yeah.
I sold it. And then,
But you worked in real estate for like whatever, 11 years now or something like that. But since a few years ago, you're now like a...
all by myself.
yeah, you're all by... Because you saw in like a niche, something that I think is a very smart thing, is that you basically became, I mean, you work with like a normal real estate agent as well, I know that, but you basically became a property finder.
As well, yeah.
As well, yeah. Okay, yeah, you don't want to go too far.
But I was fortunate enough to start with Kensington.
Yeah.
which I stayed there for 3 years.
Yeah.
I think with Suzanne Rodeman, who was in real estate for 20 odd years.
Yeah.
And taught me like really, it was great school, right? And then I had the opportunity to open up Mallorca Gold and buy in 33.3 shares of a company called Poyentia Property.
Oh yeah.
And did also Mallorca Gold, which I didn't believe in too much because the north is not very goldish. It's this is where wealth whispers. It's the opposite. All the Ferraris are in the south, and here there is only maybe a Land Rover. But wealth whispers, as we say here. But anyway, so then I did 2.5 years there, and then I thought, oof, partners and all that, and not agreeing on. I did things more with the heart, and they were more with money oriented.
Yeah,
I didn't
quite normal, I guess.
Well, yeah, but it's not my style too much. I'm not. I don't get me wrong. I think money is great. I love money. I make some. It's okay, but it's not. I do it.
Not the driving force.
No, my driving force is actually I love this island so much, and then I have people here wanting a piece of this island as well. So it's about like sharing something that I love with somebody else, but making sure they're not buying a t-shirt. They're gonna put in some 400, 4 million, 15 million. They're gonna put all kinds of big money. It's not, and it's after tax. They have to pay taxes to get that money, or they have to find loans, etc., etc. But I mean, it's an important investment. And this is why I take it super seriously, and really, today my job is being more of a consultant than.
This is the part where I want to get to, really, because like you're being a consultant and you're actually, because to me you feel like you're like the spider in a big web.
Yeah.
And so for example, I'm just gonna explain to people who's listening to this. This is like what I think a property finder is, and you can correct me, but basically is that so a client contacts you and say, hey, we're looking for a house on the island, something like this. They give you a little bit of specifications, hopefully.
And then that's the part, like on the island. And I say, right there, you have to do your homework. I put them to the task that they have to find out which town, because Poyensa has nothing to do with Alcudia. Alcudia has nothing to do with Puerto Alcudia. The atmospheres of each town here are like so different. They're almost even the accents are different 5 kilometers away in the Mallorquin. So everything is so different. So you need to first find your homework where, which town you're going to belong to and you like.
And how are you going to find that out?
Well, they're going to have to find out. I'm taking them on a mission to go have food there, stay there, go to that market.
Okay, so basically come here.
Yeah, come here.
Yeah, come here and then decide what place, like what location.
Of course.
Yeah. So, okay, but let's say they say, okay, we're gonna narrow it down now. So it's call number 2 now. Okay, Krister. So we think we wanna buy a house in the old town of Alcudia.
Okay.
Just because that's where we are.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. So yeah, and we want a townhouse. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So I was talking about the spider in the web. So what you do, I mean, obviously you're in the game constantly, so you know that, I know that property is for sale.
I know some property personally, but then I go into my network.
Yeah, this is what I mean, yeah.
Which, I don't care about agencies, it's the agents, the best agents, the ones that really know their work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because you worked side by side with them for years and years.
For years,
yeah.
and I've always been friends with all these agents.
Yeah.
Because I've done so many sales.
Yeah.
At one point, you get to know them, you get to like to working with them, so they become partners in a way. In a way, they're a bit my sales force, or they indirectly, right? So
vice versa.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and so then I start doing I put out, like, I have a WhatsApp list with all those agents. I say, look, I've got a client. I've got this, but I'm looking for, some things sometimes you don't see on websites because they've got it today and by the time it's published,
It's gone.
it takes 3 weeks to publish
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Right? So no one knows about it. So you need to call them direct and say, hey, you got anything Old Town Alcudia, townhouse, budget between 400 and 600. Yeah? And they'll say, oh yeah, one of them will say, I just got this guy right there wanting to sell. Let's go today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
I see it, I film it, I see it. I go, well, no, this is not for, you know. So I filter. So in the end,
So you become a filter for the
super
client.
filter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the client, really, when he comes down here, I'm gonna filter. Instead of traditional, they go to an agency, they go to another agency, they forget which agent's name is who. You know, they're like lost at one point. And then the English is not so good with that agent. This, they don't understand, etc. I filter, I go through all of those, and then I'll say, listen, they were going to show you, I have some agencies where they show like everything they've got.
Yeah.
Wow, what a waste of time. Yeah. So my clients come, I've narrowed down to 2.
Yeah.
So you're coming down.
Because these are the good ones.
Yeah, they're the good ones.
Yeah.
They're the ones that, the third one was good, but it's too complicated, this and this, and I saw it with an expert, and it's all fine. You're gonna have it's a nightmare. Or you wanna go through the nightmare, but it's gonna cost you a lot more on what you think, and I cannot guarantee.
Like I did.
Yeah. Well, you knew it.
Yeah, I knew about the nightmare. Yeah, I went straight
You knew.
into
I
it.
mean, you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, for me it was easier than for someone maybe. who's not
It's your masochist side. You know, a little bit, yeah. It's like, and then I go through it.
Yeah.
I go through it, and oof, I'm proud of myself because I went through the nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
You like the storms.
Yeah. Speaking about storms, what do you think about the wine?
I don't know. I haven't tasted it yet.
Yeah, talk too much. Bro.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Hey,
This is okay, right?
it's very nice.
Yeah. I think it's a really good wine because it's
It's smooth.
and
It doesn't sting the tongue. You know, it's not like.
Yeah. I have no idea what kind of grapes or whatever it is in it, but
It's grapes.
Yeah, it's grapes. I really like it, and I think the price is, it's okay. It's
Well,
it's
five,
like
$6.
six euros, something like that.
Very good.
Yeah, but I think it's a good alternative. We're not getting paid to say any of this. Pay this bottle myself. So yeah, it's just a funny thing that I think. Yeah, if you're here and you're looking for a nice bottle of red, try this one.
No.
As a property finder.
Yeah.
So you will basically scout out everything, and you basically will save them the hassle of like searching through all, because
And there's just one guy to and then as I spend time with the clients, right? They spend time with me on the phone, etc. We get to really know exactly, profoundly what they're looking for. We talk, you know. When they go see other agencies, they're real quick. It's quick introduction. Oh, I've got a list of 10 properties to see. Do you like any of them? And most, not all agents. They're great agents out there, but it can happen often.
Yeah.
Enough that I call those agents the door openers.
Yeah.
Waiting for the lottery ticket. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Ah, you like it? Great. You know.
Yeah.
It's a different approach. I think time is valuable.
Yeah.
So it's much better that to have somebody a bit of an expert in this. Okay, because in the same time, not only I'll find them most likely the property, but I will also put them in contact with the right lawyer.
Yeah. Because you have all these connections as well.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, a trustful lawyer, good lawyers.
Yes, of course.
That's because
you talk too much and I drink wine.
Finding a house is one thing. Lawyer, okay, but how to buy it at the right price?
Yeah, because that's very hard to know if you're a foreigner.
I know it's kind of shooting myself in the foot. Let's say lowering a price, right? Because my commission is.
Yeah, you will get less commission. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Really, like 50, 100,000. You know what's it's 5,000 euros. But what do I get? What do I get?
Happy clients.
Now then, the happy client who's happy, also I avoid, for example, dramas. They can be dramas with egos of a buyer and ego of a seller.
There's a lot of egos out
So
there.
I have to control. It's kind of like being mediator.
Yeah.
You're a mediator. You're going this, and then you're trying to make it so that one says okay, the other says okay. You're not holding a gun to anyone's head.
No.
Right? So they say okay. So once they both say okay, I call it the ping pong game. Like one wants 1.6. Here usually the price is higher than it's supposed to, except for the exception of a rare, exceptional property. Then the price can be that price, and that's the price you're gonna pay. But that's rare. So they usually put the price up, and then so you have to start maybe, depending on the time of the market, maybe an offer 10% down, pump, and do the ping pong game, 1, 2, 3, until you agree.
Because this is something that I find is different from like the country where I'm coming from. I can't speak today. Sorry. Like in Sweden, for example, that people then they put out their house or apartment for sale to a price agreed with the real estate agents, whatever, and then they put it out, and then it goes. They have a few viewings, and then it starts the bidding like pam. I heard now that in Sweden that it's actually dropping. I don't know that it's a little bit harder now, but when I was living in Sweden, that was the case. It was just like going. Let's say you start at 2 million, cheap I guess, but 2 million Swedish crowns, yeah. And then it's like, okay, we offer 2.1, and then 2.150, and then bam. You can follow everything like live on your phone because you get everything, so you can see like everything is really cool. But then all of a sudden it's like boom, it's done, 2.5 million Swedish crowns. But here, I mean, you don't have that kind of system. You have different kind of buyers, because here the buyers are worldwide. They can come from America, they can come from Sweden.
And it's secondary homes.
And secondary homes, yeah.
Right?
It's different.
It's not often that you have somebody just really wanting to make the move full time. I mean, it does exist, of course, but I'd say it's 20% of the buyers.
Yeah.
Then 80% of the other buyers, they're here for a secondary home.
Question here. What nationality are the ones buying most here in Mallorca right now? Do you
now?
Do you? Yeah. Do I want to
right
know?
now?
Yeah.
It's actually, well, you have the Swedish.
Yeah.
On the island, but they're mostly south.
Yeah.
There's
Palma, Santa Catalina.
Catalina, Santa Ponsa.
Yeah.
They love the Santas.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, because Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Also,
So the Santa Claus. Okay.
Santa Lucia.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have Germans. Now it's a little bit harder now because of Brexit.
For the people in the UK, you mean?
In the UK, yeah. If you come from out of Europe and you want to buy a country house, you will have to go through a military check.
Yeah.
They want to see if you are creating a sect, terrorism, or any kind of dodgy thing. Yeah, so they're investigating you. And this will last about 6 to 9 months.
Oh, really?
Until you can buy your country house, right? So an American, British is out of Europe.
So it's the same for Americans as well. It's like everyone outside
the EU.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
But they're okay for urban.
Yeah. That's
so anything urban is fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So
but
townhouse,
it's like country houses that we call fincas.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. Although the word finca means property.
Yeah. Yeah.
So lots of Mallorquins can say that this is a finca.
Yeah.
It's a property. Right?
Yeah, it's my finca.
Yeah, but we think it's like this. We think a country house.
You think a finca.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. But okay, now I'm gonna put you against the wall a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's say you have this.
Do I keep my clothes on?
Yeah.
Okay.
For now.
All right.
No, right. Okay. So let's say we have this buyer who wants to buy this townhouse in Alcudia, the one we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So you reached out to all your colleagues, or the people in the business, saying, okay, I got a client looking for this and this, and you get something from one company. We don't have to mention any names, not yet. So you get one of these agents say, yeah, we got this one, it's really nice, should be a perfect fit for your client. Okay, so then the client goes to look at it with you and that real estate agent, and you
Yeah.
explain everything, and they look at it and like, yeah, we like it. Put in an offer, you do your ping pong thing, and everything is done, is perfect. Then, obviously, that company has a 5% commission. Right? Can be less, can be more. That will depend on what kind of company it is. How much do you charge from that?
Well, it depends what kind of. Usually half.
Half.
So
let's say
they
it's
keep
5,
2.5, and I
take
get 2.5.
Yeah. That's like a normal collaboration here.
Yeah, and then depending on certain terms and conditions with some real estate agencies that are well known, etc., they give me more like 40, and they keep 60. Because
But it's still a
they
good deal.
are.
It's still a good deal for you, and
It's
and
still a good deal. I'm
Yeah.
making the whole point is to make people happy,
Yeah.
feeling good, and for me to continue on my job.
Yeah.
And of course, I need some of that money to feed me
Yeah.
and to continue to do what I like to do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter really. I mean, 40 or 50, whatever, it doesn't matter. Next. Next customer. You did the thing, okay, there was a piece of ketchup on the dish. Oh, I'll pay you €5 less, no problem. Just have a dish, and now I have to make the next.
On to the next one. On to the next one. Okay, so now, Krister, we're gonna do 5 quick ones.
Oof.
You don't have any time to think. You're just gonna answer. It's gonna be really quick, and you have to answer just what comes directly to your mind. It's gonna be nasty, I know. And then afterwards, you can explain yourself why you said this and that, and I will most likely have a few questions. Like, why did you answer like that? Okay, but here we go. The best restaurant here in the north. Come on, quick!
I can't.
Yeah, you can. Come on.
No, it's
one.
too hard.
The best restaurant.
Bistro del Jardín,
Bistro del Jardín. Where is it located?
Puerto Alcuya.
The one with they got what's it called?
They have a special steak. They have
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the. They are in the Michelin, yeah? They got a star in Michelin, no?
I think maybe they did.
Yeah, one or
or
two,
they
or
have a review or something.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, best beach.
Muro.
Playa de Muro. Okay, perfect. It's a good thing we can cut in between because I think about the question. Okay, third question. Best real estate agent. Except for you.
Lindsay Donovan.
Lindsay Donovan. All right. That's fine. She works for England Workers, should
Yes.
we say. Yeah. So Lindsay Donovan, England Workers. I think she works in the Poyenza office.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Puerto Poyensa office.
Puerto Poyensa. I always say that is very Puerto Poyensa office. Yeah. I always say that if you're buying.
But there's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of good ones. I force you to pick one, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. So yeah, to all of the other ones.
Yeah, you're all great.
They're all great. Yeah. Yeah. There might be a reason.
You know who you are.
Might be
You know who you are.
There might be a reason why you picked Lindsay Donovan.
Yes, of course.
Okay, all about that later. So, question number 4. What is your favorite location in the north?
Bonaire.
Bonaire.
Love it.
Like real estate location. We should. clarify.
Well, yeah, because I started selling there for a long time ago. When it wasn't known. Many people came for years, for 15, 20 years in Puerto Poyensa and never went across the bay.
Yeah.
And I said, what you're looking for maybe is where I live in Bonaire. It's really nice. And they were like, oh,
So you
what?
live there, yeah? No,
Yeah,
I know you
I live there. Yeah,
I
I live
used
there.
to live there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we used to be
And-
almost neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah. And no, it's just it's sort of a peninsula that's away from it all, and it's got 2 beautiful beaches, and it's got a port, and it's kind of away from it all.
And then I will say, like, okay, you said the best beach. You said that was Muro, Playa de Muro. I think that, in my book, that is not true. I think the Malpas beaches are better. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I can't say
But-
true because this is what you think. But what I think, I would say those beaches in Malpas, just down, close to Bonaire, they are amazing.
Yeah, and then you can also surf on one of them. You know, it's
Yeah.
a surf beach,
Yeah.
so people go there to surf.
Yeah.
But in
But don't they surf more in the Bay of Pienza, though?
yeah, but that's Malpas. That's Bay of Pienza. No, you're talking about kite surfing. I'm talking about real surfing, like the waves.
Oh, okay.
That's in San Juan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, no, I agree. Of course, I mean, then we can so many. But I mean,
It's like they're all world class.
It's the
Can we
one.
say that?
It's the one. Why Playa de Muro is because it's the one that you can walk out for 100 meters and still have you still walk.
Yeah.
And it looks. I mean, you take a picture there, and the Bahamas or any Caribbean place, it's same.
Yeah.
You don't need to get a ticket for 8-hour flight, pay $1,000. You can get a cheap ticket from anywhere right now and go to Playa de Muro. I close your eyes and say, we're in the Bahamas. You'd be like, okay, yeah, totally, we're in the Bahamas.
Yeah. No, those beaches are amazing.
And they are. And it was voted one of the best beaches in the whole world.
Yeah.
Not
No,
for-
Playa de Muro. Yeah.
And then of course, you have on the south, I would say, Estranc.
Yeah. No, that's also really nice.
Yeah. So,
But I don't like it because they took away all the beach parts. They made
Oh,
it
they
like
did. I didn't-
all natural.
Ah, yeah,
Which
I like-
is a good thing, yes.
yeah, but no, it's
boring.
nice. You
Yeah.
need to have the beach. That's why, like Muro, what's nice is Ponderosa.
Yeah. I was using the one called Pierino as well. I didn't know about that one. It was like a 1-year-old beach club, but it's like simple because we also have like New. It's called New Mallorca now.
Okay.
It used to be called Numa.
You mean Numa Beach?
Yeah.
The club?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not.
It changed
called-
now.
It doesn't call it Numa anymore. I think it was something with the name that was fighting about.
Ah,
So now it's called Nu Mallorca. So it's like Numa, but yeah, it's the same. But anyway,
Okay.
that's a really nice place. Super cool. Like I would say the best beach club here on the north.
In the north.
It is no competition. But I think like Ponderosa and also this Pierino Beach that I was yesterday is more like like local style. It's like you're sitting with your feet in the sand with some like semi-shitty chairs and some things, and they're making some fish.
Totally.
It's just like, of course, the prices are also, quite a lot cheaper than New Mallorca.
Yeah.
But but they're nice. Yeah, and they have that in Muro. They don't really have that here in Alcudia as much. There are more and better beach bars in Muro than
Totally.
yeah.
And that's what's lacking actually here. I think what I feel is lacking is you don't have the music. They don't tolerate I like music. I mean, if you go to the beach and you got a club, you want a bit of music.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not heavy metal. Something kind of zen, cool.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
Beach house style. Music.
Chill.
Yeah.
So you can go away with your thoughts.
Yeah.
And some wine.
And some wine. Yeah. Listen, you're a really good friend, and you helped me a lot. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to buy this because like the magic you pulled to get all of them together, and you went to have a coffee with that one, and then you made them all come and sit down, and you had coffee, and everything was nice.
It's a human thing,
Yeah, it is, but not many people are like you, I would say. So I would like to officially thank you for helping me through this.
Welcome.
Yeah.
It's
And
my
also, you
pleasure.
were also sitting with me. You also came with me to the notary. Even though I had my lawyer.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Well, to the end.
Yeah, until the end.
I want to see.
Yeah. So and you answered a lot of questions today, and I'm so grateful. And
It's a pleasure.
it's a pleasure.
If I can, enlighten a few people that have curiosity about how to be part of Mallorca somehow, well,
But if then people, since this is my gift back, if people then want to contact you or want to work with you or want to, need your help or to buy something, how do they contact you?
everything's on my website. So Krister with a K, Krister, Salas, SALAS.com.
.com.
So myname.com.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's perfect. All right. So we're gonna
thank
turn.
you very much.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna turn off the cameras now.
Yes.
And
And finish that cup of wine.
Yeah, and then we still got half a bottle of wine left.
We have
And now
mucho más.
Yeah, mucho más. And now we're gonna talk about the thing
lot
that
more.
that is not really for the camera.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Or for the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, bro.
Pleasure.